What is up, guys? It's Mason once again, and contrary to the way this thumbnail looks, it's not a games to know by heart video. It's the analysis video of a chess player that was really pivotal in my chess growth in the beginning stages. If you've ever used the Chess Master Grandmaster Edition software, you would have gone through a lesson by a Joshua Waitzkin, and he is the protagonist of this video, let's put it this way. I really did love his ways and means of explaining chess. His enunciations were very clear, and his romantic way of explaining what happens on the board and even the psychology of chess improvement really did help me coming up as a chess player. So this is a chess game from when he was 10 years old against a master player named Edward Frumpkin. I hope you guys will enjoy it. Peace. In this game, Joshua Waitzkin is playing as white against, like I said, Edward Frumpkin. So let's see how this game goes. We have an e4, c5, a Sicilian defense, knight f3, e6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, and knight c3. This is I don't know if we call it a classical Sicilian, but it's just a basic Sicilian. And here we have knight c3, the Taimanov. So in this position, there are many things you can play. But Joshua Waitzkin plays a very strange move. He plays the move bishop to e3, and this immediately puts you in a very bad position. So why is that? Black plays bishop to b4, already highlighting his idea. If you aren't watching him play a move like, let's say, h3 here, you simply allow this threatening move and you're already in a bad position. So there are two ways to defend it, but he decides to defend this position with the move f3. And already you have created glaring weaknesses in your position, and Black just has already more than just equalized. He's now having the initiative. And Edward Frumpkin actually does very well in taking advantage of this. He immediately goes for the move d5, striking in the center. If these pawns are ever traded off, the pressure coming down here is immense. So Joshua Waitzkin has to react fast. He plays the move bishop to b5, which creates a threat. You can't ignore this threat and start capturing on this side of the field, because after takes here, you have like knight takes, and if takes, we have a move sort of like this. I know I skipped an idea here, but the point here is you have this fork and you can win the exchange, and that is a problem for you. So developing with a threat so that he can also get his king into safety, a very good move here by Josh Waitzkin. We have bishop to d7 blocking the threat, and then we have the move bishop takes c6. Now he could have castled and gone for a very interesting line. So let's just take a look at this. So if castles, we have bishop takes c3, b takes c3, d takes e4, f takes e4, knight takes e4, and then an interesting move here, queen to g4, or as he actually preferred, queen to f3. And the point of this is you have already created a checkmating threat here. If your opponent decides to block with his knight, you have a very interesting idea of knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, and you have a very active position against your opponent. You can put a lot of pressure in the center, and this is just a comfortable position for white to play, regardless of this pawn structure that you're seeing here. White is actually very, very good. And if you decide to castle, of course, that's just a blunder. You're losing a piece, so you wouldn't want to do that. But that's actually an interesting line that he could have gone for here, but he decides to go for the bishop takes c6 move. And his reason for this is the move e5. He wants to close the center and limit the activity of his opponent's pieces. So you see in this position, the knight goes back to g8. And even though Black had a very good start, now White seems to be okay, or White seems to be in the driver's seat of this position. As to how this happened, possibly his opponent underestimated him. That's what I can say. But yeah, the game continues. We have a3, bishop a5, and then b4. What Josh Waitzkin does now is, after reducing the activity of his opponent's pieces, he takes over the dark squares. Of course, the only active piece that Black has is this dark squared bishop, and he would need the queen and the bishop to navigate the dark square. So he supports the dark squares with his pawns, making it very difficult for his opponent to advance. It would take him quite some time to reactivate his pieces and get back into the game. You'd have to develop your knight here, through this side, castle king side, maybe push c5 in the future, something to get your position going. So here white is doing extremely well. We have bishop to c7, f4, defending the pawn. Of course, the bishop was attacking it. Knight to e7, again trying to maneuver his knight to an active square. And then we have knight to a4 by Josh Waitzkin, trying to take advantage of this c5 square. You should always be looking out for these outposts. Outposts are squares that cannot be challenged by pawns. So if you can get your knight to outposts like these, it's a very, very good square for your knight in particular. So these are the slight maneuvering ideas that grandmasters use to get good positions against most of us weaker players, or to get good positions in general. So now we have castles king side and then knight to c5, taking the square immediately. And now we have a5. Now that black has kind of mitigated some of his losses, he tries to create play on the queen side. You should not be open to like trading here. Of course, trading here instantly leads to this problem, but you, as white, you should not want this position to open up. So he plays the move c3, keeping the position closed. For example, if there's a trade here, the position is still closed. The rook defends the pawn very well. So you should know where your opponent's advantages lie and prevent them from gaining any sort of counterplay. Very good. So now we have c3 and then knight c8. Black immediately takes note of an outpost square, which is good for his knight, which is the c4 square, and he starts maneuvering his knight to get to this c4 square. And in the meantime, whilst he's trying to improve his position, Josh Waitzkin is actually going to go for his idea. So castles king side, knight to b6, and then queen to g4, citing the fact that he's going for a king side attack. And this idea is very welcome in the sense that if you want to attack your opponent, you have to make sure that the center is locked. If the center is not locked and you go for an attack, it's very likely your opponent can counter you and your attack will not work. So identifying the fact that the center is locked and then pushing for his aggressive idea is the way to go. We have knight to c4, bishop to f4, and then queen to e8. Queen to e8 is a very good prophylactic move by black. If, let's say, white is to not see what's happening and play a move like if black is not to see what's happening and play a move like, let's say, bishop here, the whole idea is to play bishop to h4, and after the queen runs away, play bishop to f6. And the point is, if your opponent pushes his pawn to try and prevent any kind of mating attack, you have this simple attacking or checkmating motif, queen to g5 to h6 to h7 checkmate, and it's very difficult to stop. You might have to sacrifice your queen. So very good by black noticing that idea before it happened and playing queen to e8. But here we have rook f to e1, and if you have used the software, he pointed out an idea that if he did not do this, his opponent had a very good way to break open the center. Like we said, you want to keep the center locked, so he has a good way to break open the center. But with the move rook f to e1, you can actually take, and after take, if rook takes, you have the move knight d to e6, knight d takes e6. And the point of this is that you have a very good bind on your opponent. The queen can't easily move. You are threatening a checkmate, and after your opponent defends against this mate, you have this idea of bringing your bishop either to h4 or to d4 with a deadly attack, which is why he plays that. Engine doesn't really support that idea, but still, I mean the idea of f6, but still, nice idea. So he still plays bishop to h4 after bringing out his rook, and then black goes king to h8, a very nice idea, preventing this whole stretch that white wants to go for a mating attack. And now you can even bring your rook to defend this square. And here is a move I really loved when I watched this game in particular. Now, most people would think, how do I continue the attack? That's what most people would think. But this is the difference in understanding of positions from grandmasters or from very strong players. here you could think about going for maybe an idea like this, a slow developing idea like this, or maybe something else. But he immediately plays the move here, a4. And the reason behind this move, let's just say white plays h3. You allow your opponent to kind of slow down your idea. After this rook trade happens, your idea is kind of slowed down, and you've given your opponent a chance to reopen up his position. You can play bishop here, trade off pieces, and as we all know, if you are in a defensive position and you trade off pieces, your position becomes easier to play. So preventing this whole idea by playing a4 just goes to show how well they think about their position. The word is to stop all your opponent's play, or to isolate your opponent's play while pushing your ideas. Very, very nice move there. The attack is on the king side. He solves the queen side and then continues with his attacking idea. Very, very beautiful. So we have bishop to b6, rook a to d1. It is in view of his idea. Bishop takes c5, b takes c5, and now we have, after knight to b2, we have the interesting move of this game. That's why we say this is a very nice rook lift. Let me put it that way. So here the opponent plays knight to b2, attacking the rook. Of course, the best idea for most of us is to either counter or to dodge, right? But here he plays a move in view of an idea that he saw, which was rook to e3, a preparation rook lift for a specific idea. So his opponent thought for a while and then played knight takes d1. So I just like you guys to think about this position a little bit. Why do you think that this move is the losing move for black? What was white thinking about that made this position winning? Just a few seconds, you can pause the video. Okay, so the move here is queen takes g7 check. A queen sacrifice. Now there's two sacrifices, a sacrifice of two pieces. If you do something like this, you really have to be sure your calculation is right. And he sees a forcing variation of mate in 6. So queen takes g7, and the move is king takes g7 as well. And you have to play bishop f6 check. Should you play a move like rook to g3 check, you allow your opponent to dodge this whole variation, in the sense that now if your opponent is going to go king to h6, after bishop to g5 check, he's going to go to h5, rook h3 check, the king just goes back, and after rook h6 check, king g7, there are no more checks, and now your opponent is just 2 pieces up. You are completely lost. So you have to be precise. So the precise move here is not to go rook, but actually to go bishop first. This prevents your opponents from running back as well, because if he goes back, that's checkmate, and it gives you the right position you are looking for. If king to g6, you're going rook to g3 check, and the sequence continues. And if king to h6, sorry, you are going to go rook to h3 check, and then back to the position you were looking for. So rook to g3 check, king moves to h6, bishop to g7 check, checking from the back, bringing the king closer and closer to your pieces. King to h3, rook to g2 check, king to h4, and you don't want to make a mistake by playing a move like this. You want to play the move knight to f3 checkmate. Very, very beautiful game by Josh Waitzkin. This was his first victory against a master player. Very beautiful way to actually win. Imagine beating your first master with 2 sacrifices. Can't wait to beat my first master though. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this game. There are more videos to be coming out. I know the video is coming out very slowly because I'm actually planning out some videos which I haven't done before. So now I have to do a lot of scripting. Analysis videos takes a while because I'm not that skilled of a chess player. So it takes me a while to understand some of the moves that they make. But right now I'm trying to focus on a sort of educational chess series, which will help you guys in improving your chess rather than just doing analysis videos and player interviews. So there are a few videos that are coming out, but it will take a while. I'm still scripting them. I'm still looking for positions to help explain my point, and I want to give you guys the best quality lesson type videos that will help you guys improve. So look out for that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Twitch channel. Check out our Twitch channel. Link is in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Peace.